my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to this Thursday morning on your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso on SABC3. Now, as we know, most governments around the world, including the Department of Education right here in South Africa, have temporarily closed all educational institutions. From primary schooling to university level, the coronavirus has caused over 1 billion learners worldwide to remain out of the classroom. And this morning, Mpumalanga MEC for Education, Mr. Bonakele Majuba, chats to us about the plans to reopen schools here in South Africa. MEC, thank you very much for joining us, and a good morning to you.
Good morning, Katlego, and good morning to your viewers and listeners.
Now, following the announcement by the Minister of Basic Education that the sector will, from this week, officially start putting together preparations for possible reopening of schools, what has been your preoccupation in the Mpumalanga province?
Katlego reported to the office on Monday with the executive management. That helped us to accelerate some processes to enhance our readiness to receive officials in keeping to the injunction of the Minister of Basic Education and in line with the lockdown level 4 regulations. Subsequently, we convened a series of meetings with our stakeholders to ensure that we navigate these challenging times. We do so together. I must say that we are encouraged by the level of support received from teacher unions in the province. But this afternoon, I'll be meeting representatives of SGBs to take them through our implementation plan, which highlights the things that we need to do to ensure that our schools are ready and safe for learners to resume classes. I can say that it is all systems go. We are doing the best that we can to make sure that we reopen schools.
Absolutely. So let's expand a little bit on that and talk about the measures that have been put in place to make sure that learners are protected from the coronavirus at schools, should reopening take place as is planned.
Well, the measures are that we have made sure that all essentials which are necessary for us to fight against COVID-19 already are procured. Already they are in the office, at the head office, some in the district offices, and some already have reached the schools. We want to make sure that towards the beginning of the resumption of reopening of the schools, all the essentials should be there. And they were also working very hard to clean the schools, disinfect, and make sure that all those, the infrastructure that is not well should be made sure that it is corrected and rebuilt so as we can be able to have a proper infrastructure.
Yeah.
So we can say that all the essentials, and also in schools where you find that there is a challenge of water, we have made sure that together with the Department of Culture, we supply some JoJo tanks there so as children and teachers will have access to water.
Yeah.
So I can say that it's all systems go and we are ready for the reopening of schools.
I mean, that's wonderful news, which leads me to my next question on your thoughts on whether the Mpumalanga province and the rest of the country as a whole will be ready to reopen schools for learners possibly on the 1st of June 2020. How possible do you think that will be?
Well, we're spending sleepless nights in making sure that we do preparations, and we hope and believe that by that time we shall completely be ready. We're working with very, very committed officials, and they are working day and night in making sure that such preparations are done. And I'm very much hopeful, and I'm very much impressed of the way they are doing. And it tells me that because we're dealing with a matter of life and death, and we know that we must be led to perfection in making sure that we don't commit any mistake, and all those kids and teachers, when they go there, they must be as safe as possible.
You mentioned earlier on, MEC, about fixing of infrastructure in certain schools. We know that over 950 schools in South Africa have been vandalized or robbed or torched during this national lockdown. Now, what's the status right now with regards to those schools? Are they being fixed or rebuilt for when learners are due to return to schools? And what is the current status?
The Department of Public Works Road Transport already, I can say that we are hard on work in trying to repair those schools which were vandalized, but also even those schools which had challenges in terms of infrastructure. So as by the time the schools are reopened, we want to make sure that the infrastructure shall be receiving those learners in a better manner.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much.
Say that we are working on them.
Well, thank you very much for joining us this morning, MEC Majuba from the Education Department in Mpumalanga. We appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
And of course, members of the community are still urged to be on the lookout for people vandalizing schools and any other public property. And all crimes such as these are, of course, to be reported to the police immediately on that number 10111, or you can make contact with your nearest police station. Now on to some very good news. Our favorite takeouts are now available for delivery.